Hi all, welcome back to Guide to SolidWorks. Now today in this tutorial we are going to be looking at how we can use design tables as shown here. What this allows us to do is from a single model create multiple different designs. This speeds up us creating alterations to designs and also means that we can create lots of different standard sizes for a standard part. Right, so let's dive into this and have a look at this tutorial on something that's a little bit different. So, let's go. Right, okay, so I'm going to start off with creating a model. So I'm going to go onto the right plane. I'm going to sketch on that right plane and we're going to create an L shape. So I'm going to go a line across, up like so, and across like so and down. Now we can imagine this is a bit like an L bracket, but for now it's just creating the L shape just to show you how this process works. It doesn't matter how complex the product is that you're creating, you can use this process for pretty much any product. There are just a few rules you have to follow. So let's start off with how we go around dimensioning. Now we dimension the same, but we do an extra process. So if we click our dimension tool here, I'm going to dimension the bottom line here. Now I'm going to set this to 60. However, so normally we just set a size, but in the box above, we've got a name for our dimension. So I'm going to actually title this. So I'm going to call that my base. And you'll see if I click back onto the value, it'll call base at sketch. Base at sketch 1. Now all that's doing is showing us that we've created a name for that dimension. And that's what we want to do. For every one of our dimensions, we want to create a name. So I'm going to tick there, so that I'm happy with that. I'm going to do my height up the side here. So I'm going to say that's 70. And I'm going to call that height. Like so. So we've got height at sketch 1. And tick there. And that's come up to 70. I've got my height of my base here. And I'm going to say that's 10. Or should we call that base width? Let's call that base width. Edit that, and that's come up with my title there, and 10. Tick there. And I want my height width across the top there. And we'll call that 15. Ooh, double click it. We want to put our title in there. Of height width. So that gives me my title across the top there. Now, once I've done them, you'll see everything's come up fully defined, but all of my dimensions now have names in. You can see it changing here as I click through them. So I've got my base, my height width, and my base width down there. Let's change that to a capital H so it doesn't irritate me. Okay, so I've got the sketch all fully dimensioned, so I'm going to leave the sketch there. So I'm going to come out of that. Now what I want to do is an extrude, so I'm going to extrude this. So features, extrude, click my sketch, and I want to extrude it by, let's say, 20. Okay, and tick there. So we've now got a really thin L bracket there. So we've created the one model, however, from that one model we can create multiple different ones. And the way we do this then is using the design table. So if I go to MBD as my tab, and I've got an option for tables, you can go through your tools at the top to find them as well, but if we go to MBD, tables, drop it down, and we're after a design table here. Okay. Now we can create a blank table, we can also create a table from the model, or we can do one from a file. I want it to auto create one from this model here, but we can upload a file. So for instance, if you was looking at nut bolts, washers, and you had all standard sizes on an Excel spreadsheet, you could import them and do this that way as well. Okay, so let's do an auto create and we'll show us how we build our own table. So auto create is highlighted. I'm just going to tick there. Now this is going to show me a table here, but it's going to bring up everything that I've created. Okay. Now it's coming up with an extrude here. Just give me a second. I'm going to cancel this off because I want to show you what happens with our extrude here. Tick there. So at the moment it's coming up with an extrude 1. I could change that title to know that it comes up. So if I had lots of different extrudes, I can title it to exactly what I want. So if I click on there and I say, for instance, let's call that L shape, and now tick off, and now it's changed the name of it here. So if I now go back into tables, so they've come up here now, let's delete this table off. Okay, so if I now go back to tables and do a new design table, also create again, and you'll now see that in my extrudes I have the L shape here. So what I want to do is I want to add in the dimensions or the sizes that I want to use. Now you might find that some of these don't change within your model no matter what you change on the rest of it, so you just wouldn't import that value. So what we do is we hold Control and we click on the ones that we want. For this I'm going to include all of them and then click OK. Okay, so you can see here then that what's loaded up is our default values across the bottom here, and that's represented with the default at the side, and then we've got our titles that we've put in on our dimensions on our extrude at the end. Now if we want to edit these, we can set our own values down here. So I'm going to put a new title in, so I'm going to call that plus 10%, and I'm going to make a product that's 10% bigger. So if I go equals, and this, because this is an Excel spreadsheet, it works exactly the same way as Excel, so we can put formulas into here. So if I go to equals, the 60 times 10%, and we get 10% bigger. I can then drag that across, and it'll do them for all of them. I can do 10% smaller as well. So equals, pick my original, and this time I am timesing by 0.9, and I'll get 10% smaller going across, like so. Okay, so I've got them values in, so that's my default, 10% bigger, 10% smaller. Now we might also want some standard sizes, so let's go size 1 as a standard size, and I'm going to say I want my base to be 40 long, my height to be 50, my base width is going to go to 15, and my height width I'm going to turn to, let's say 10. And then my extrude, rather than going to be 20, is going to be 30. And I will get them sizes now into there. I can create another one, so size 2. And this time, what I'm going to do is make one that is the same at the bottom as it is at the top. So let's go 40, 40. I'm going to go 15 thick, on both sides, and I'm going to extrude by 40 as well, so we get something that's a little bit more wider but also the same height and same base length and the same thickness all the way around. So you can see there, just quickly using that table, I've created 4 different sets of sizes. Now if I click anywhere on the page here, so click there, it then tells me that it's uploaded these sizes. So if I click OK, and you'll see if we're on, so normally we'd be on our design tree, but if I move across to the configurations manager, you'll now see under the table options that I have 5 different sizes. Now the default size will be the one that comes up first because that's what we were originally modelling in. What I can do is switch between all of these. So if I want to go 10% bigger, click on the plus 10, double click on the plus 10, and it will make the product 10% bigger. 10% smaller, click on the minus 10, 10% smaller. If I want to use the size 1 default, size 1 standard size that I've created, click on that, and I get that to size 1 and size 2. I get the size 2. Okay, now this is just a way of being able to create multiple models using a table instead of remodeling each piece, as long as it's the same shape. From these models we can use them all individually, so each one I could import separately into an assembly. So if I wanted to use all the different sizes in assembly, I could import them one by one into an assembly and use them individually in the way that they are. So it's quite a nifty tool, quite a useful tool in being able to create multiple shapes without one process. So hopefully you like this tutorial. Hopefully it's showing you something new. Please have a go at using design tables. They're really useful and helpful in modelling, especially if you're using standard components. Again, like things like nuts, bolt washers, they're brilliant for this sort of thing, but anything with standard sizes, we can import a size table and create them components over and over in different sizes. Okay, so that's it for today, so we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.